Hello, my name is Chef Luis Cortez. Welcome to my page once again. Today we're going to do crostini. Crostinis, you can do all kinds of crostinis with toppings, different toppings. So today we're going to do a really simple, flavorful one that it's goat cheese and marinated tomatoes with a truffle honey. So that it's has a little sweetness. The truffle gives it a little punginess to it, and the tomatoes with the honey and the goat cheese, it gives it the sweet and the savory at the same time. So we're gonna utilize some goat cheese, the heirloom tomatoes, some basil, some fresh basil, a little bit of a really good quality balsamic vinegar, some white truffle oil, and then some honey, good quality honey, a little bit of herbs to put over our baguettes. So we have some baguettes here, and first we're going to take the baguettes, cut them in this type of like a crouton, a toast point, and we're going to take that. So anyway, we take a knife and a little serrated knife. The serrated knife, this one is serrated. It's a utility knife, but it's serrated. So we take this, take it to an angle, and basically cut off that part on the edge, the little butt, and we keep going. Cut them elongated on an angle, and I'm making them a little longer than what I did before. You could choose any size you want. You can make them small depending on how many people you have and depending on what you want to do. So we have them cut. We'll turn on our uh, pan, and we got a little olive oil here. So olive oil, it's usually good not to cook with olive oil. I got an extra virgin olive oil, but in this case, we're not really 100% cooking with this olive oil. What we're doing is we're just going to toast the bread, the baguettes, in this olive oil, make it a little bit savory. So we're going to throw a little bit of these herbs in there so they can stick to our bread and give us a little flavor too. It's a like an Italian herb. It's dry, so we're going to cook it a little bit to release that flavor since it's dry. If it was fresh, usually fresh herbs we try to put towards the end of our recipes so they don't uh, evaporate flavors. So while this is heating up, we're going to take our honey, and our honey, we're going to mix it a little bit with that truffle oil. We're going to put about very little truffle oil. This is a white truffle oil, even black or white truffle oil is pretty powerful. I would say about half a teaspoon. You mix that in, make sure it gets flavorful. That honey mixes in good with that truffle oil. There you go. So just a touch more. You don't want it too overpowering because the truffle oil is good, but if it's overpowering, it's too much. So while okay, we got this. We're gonna put this on about a low heat and start toasting off our baguettes. Okay, get a little more oil so that it doesn't dry up because it's gonna absorb a little bit of this oil. Yeah, all that's toasting low here. We're gonna start cutting our tomatoes. So I'm gonna cut them crosswise. So we cut them a little small, so like that. They're not too big for our toast point. Okay. And I'm gonna get another little bowl. Start putting them in so we can start marinating them in this bowl. So let me flip over our croutons. See how they're coming along. I think they're coming along on that one side. They're a little toasted. They're good. We don't want them too hard or too toasted because we want them just a little toasted on the outside and soft enough so that we can eat them, and not too hard that they just fall apart. Nice. The part of the culinary experience a lot of times is taking the color and playing with that color. So keep that, just raise it up a little bit so I can keep toasting. I'll put a little more of this herbs. Put a little bit of all balsamic vinegar in these tomatoes. I would say that was probably about a quarter cup, maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna throw a little more tomatoes in there. So we got our tomatoes all cut up. We have them with our balsamic vinegar marinating, and our toast points are almost done. Probably another 2 minutes, and they'll probably be ready to go. So we're gonna put some salt, some pepper, a real generous amount of salt, so we can make sure it has a little bit of flavor. The tomatoes need pretty much salt. And then our last touch would be some fresh basil. So just cut up a little bit of this fresh basil. Take out a few of the stems. Take it, try to bunch it up here a little bit, and do a chiffonade cut. Okay, there goes our tomatoes. Right here, we're going to take our goat cheese, our toast points from the pan. And I think we're good with this pan. Okay. And let them cool down a little bit. You can, but you can always do it warm because that'll help for the goat cheese to melt a little bit. So we just spread some of that goat cheese, a little thin layer of goat cheese on them. Try to make it as evenly as you can. Doesn't have to be 100% even, but just so you have the flavor distributed through the whole crouton. Okay. Here, and we put some extra virgin olive oil inside of that tomato to give it some flavor, about that olive oil flavor, but it has to be extra virgin because extra virgin has that good olive nuttiness flavor to it. I'll give it a little taste. Yeah, I think we're there. Here we take our tomatoes and we distribute them over our toast point, our crostini. Try to do it, if you have an activity, whatever, you try to do it as close to the guests when they get there. So like that, it's not sitting there for too long. Because tomatoes have a lot of water, and you don't want it to be too soggy, the toast point. So Okay. Here we go. One little one here. Okay. Then you take that honey, that truffle honey, and you just run a little bit over this. That's why I left this on my cutting board. So like that, I don't get my presentation plate full of honey, even though it's not a bad thing because it's be okay. People would like that, but just to make it look clean and nice, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be too much. And I think that's it. Let's put this on here. There we go. Now we got our tomato marinated crostini, a marinated tomato crostini with goat cheese and the truffle honey. So I think that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon.